Hare Krishna. Mental silence is more important than verbal silence. Sometimes some people some people in the spiritual path, they take a vow of silence. It's called Mauna Vrata. And the idea is that our power of speech is often directed towards mundane speaking, and it distracts us and it distracts others. So the more we speak, the more we think about what we are speaking, what we have spoken, what we will be speaking. And in that way, and because most of the subjects that we talk about are mundane, so we get distracted. And that's why Mauna is considered a useful tool for becoming more contemplative, for turning one thoughts away from the mundane towards the higher aspects of life, towards the spiritual aspects of life. Now, interestingly, in the Bhagavad Gita, Mauna is mentioned as an austerity. But what is interesting is, Krishna talks about austerity at three levels: at the level of the body, at the level of speech, and at the level of the mind. And we would expect Mauna to be included as austerity of speech. But Krishna refers to Mauna as the austerity of the mind. In 17.16, he says, Manah prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapomanasamuchyate. So Manah prasada, being satisfied, saumyatvam, being gentle, maunam, being silent, atma vinigraha, self-controlled, and bhava samshuddhi, trying to purify oneself, purifying one's existence. Tietad, all these, tapo manasam uchyate, all these are austerities of the mind. Now, why is silence considered to be an austerity of the mind instead of austerity of the speech? Because the purpose of silence, that is directing our thoughts upwards towards spiritual reality, it is not served just by keeping verbal silence. The purpose of contemplating higher realities is served only by achieving mental silence. The mind is always speaking. This is like this, that is like that, why not get that, why is this happening like this? And if we are physically, verbally silent, but we are mentally agitated, then it serves no purpose in raising our consciousness upwards. In fact, if the mind is agitated and people are forced to be silent, then they find that as suppression, they find that as repression, and they resent it. Most of the times, people speak because their mind is speaking and mind is impelling them to speak. So if we want to truly achieve the purpose of silence, that is to turn towards spiritual reality, then what is important is mental silence, calming the mind down, silencing the mind. And there are many ways to silence the mind. The essence of silencing the mind is purifying it. So when the mind is impure, it feels this is wrong, this is nice, I want this, I don't want that. And ichcha and dvesha, this aversion and attachment, it makes the mind keep speaking. But when mind is purified, then ichcha and dvesha are not there. When they are not there, or they are decreased substantially, then the mind becomes silent. And the best way to silence the mind is to focus the mind on the supreme spiritual reality. So when we meditate on Krishna, when we chant his holy names, when we study his sacred message, at that time, not only do we silence the mind, but we direct the mind constructively. And in this way, the mental energy doesn't feel suppressed, but it feels channeled. And our thoughts, they not only go away from the mundane so that they can go towards the spiritual, rather they are accelerated towards the spiritual by focusing on Krishna. So the process of bhakti yoga may not seem to encourage silence so much. In bhakti, speaking about Krishna and hearing others speak about Krishna, this is what is recommended. But this is what ultimately and most expeditiously serves the purpose of silence. The purpose of silence is direction of thought towards higher spiritual reality, and speaking about Krishna is the fastest way to absorb ourselves in higher spiritual reality. And this, so we may not have verbal silence in bhakti, but we will have mental silence. When speaking about Krishna, by consistently speaking about Krishna, chanting his holy names, our mind will become calm, it will become focused, and we will achieve spirituality, serenity, and ultimately not just serenity in terms of calm peacefulness, but ecstasy in terms of divine spiritual happiness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.